Maddow shaking her head preemptively. We haven't even started talking yet, and already you're going like that.
I read the speech, right? I paid attention to this all day. I was sitting upstairs and right outside your office, and I was kind of writing out arguments and things that I wanted to talk about. And then, on the television, in the corner of my eye, there's you sitting there smiling through Joe Scarborough.
Yes!
Showing Osama, Howard Dean, Osama, John Kerry, Osama, Ted Kennedy.
Didn't it blow your mind?
I'm actively mad at you.
Didn't it blow your mind?
It blew my mind that that's your take on it.
Isn't it uncanny? It's incredible. Every single talking point. And as I said to Joe, I am in no way comparing the moral. I'm not comparing.
I'm not comparing this.
The moral value of
talking points from the DNC.
It's incredible.
There's no comparison.
It's incredible. You could go through the whole list. I literally expected him to say Hillary in 08 in the end. I mean, every single line is like, I've heard it all before. Where's he getting this? How does he get the New York Times in his cave is my question.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Osama bin Laden, the whole mastermind behind 9/11.
Yes.
The guy who attacked us and killed thousands of Americans, does another videotape, threatens America.
Yes.
On MSNBC with Chris Matthews and Joe Scarborough and Tucker Carlson, that's an occasion to pile on Ted Kennedy.
What's interesting,
what are you talking about?
He doesn't actually...
He threatens the American people.
Yeah, well, he's Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
He's behind 9/11. He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
We're not ignoring that. But
Let's
actually,
go get Howard Dean.
The substance of this was not really about his threats. Actually, it was much more complicated than that. I've read, I think, every public communique he's come out with, and they're always about the Crusaders and the Jews and how Israel is evil and we're evil and we're going to kill you all. This was not about that, actually. He was making a political case. You read the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was about how the war in Iraq is doomed because the American people don't support it. And the war in Iraq was waged in the first place because the warmongers at Halliburton and the crazed neocons were behind it. And they, changed Bush's mind and got him to support it. That's like, do you recognize that argument?
No.
I mean, I do.
Listen, first of all, it's a direct threat. He's saying, you have occupied our land, defiled our honor, violated our dignity, blah, blah, blah. We will treat you in the same way.
Yeah, but that's the boilerplate. He always says that.
Right, he's coming out and he's threatening the United States.
Right.
That's the headline today, right? Osama bin Laden threatens United States. At the same time, this is directed to the American people. This isn't a speech to George Bush. This is a speech to you and I.
Yes, that's the interesting thing.
Yes, and he's citing things that are coming up in American politics. Yes, he says things that he criticizes George W. Bush. You guys are interpreting that as Osama criticizes Bush, Ted Kennedy criticizes Bush, therefore Osama loves Ted.
No.
It's ridiculous.
No,
he's
actually,
also
I'm not
using right-wing talking.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's not criticizing, and there's nothing wrong with criticizing Bush. I criticize Bush. I'm saying he's criticizing Bush in exactly the same ways, with exactly the same terminology. It's literally like he got the blast facts from HQ.
Well, what about when he says this is not confined to Iraq? Iraq is a point of attraction and recruitment for qualified researchers.
Yes.
This is a global war on terror. This is a war that is for you or for us to win. You need patience to be in this long war. This is going to last generations.
And only one of us will win.
He sounds like Ken Melman when he's saying that, but less gay. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to blow by that comment. But I will say, yeah, you just blew my mind by saying that.
I'm actively angry that this is being turned into a political attack on Democrats when Osama just threatened us.
It's not a political attack on Democrats. It's merely an acknowledgement that Osama is stealing all your best lines. Time to think of new ones.
That is absolutely ridiculous. What about when he said this is going to be a generations-long war and we need patience? That's George W. Bush.
Yeah, it's one of the lines Bush uses, but
so
it wasn't
why aren't we saying then? Why isn't he getting these talking points from the Republicans?
It wasn't from top to bottom, however, a recitation of Bush's points. It was from top to bottom. Read it yourself. Available on the internet. At the end, he says, and you've got to read this book, Rogue State, by William Blum, which is this left-wing screed against the United States' foreign policy, which is not a right-wing book, honestly, in any way.
To look at this speech and say what this is not an occasion to be outraged at Osama and mad that he's threatening us again.
I'm outraged at Osama.
But instead, at a point to make political points against Democrats, I feel like if you're not taking your eye off the ball on this one, I don't even understand.
It's not that I'm taking my eye on the ball, and of course I'm outraged at Osama. And Osama threatens the U.S. is hardly a headline. It's background noise. It's the boilerplate. He threatens America by his existence. I just think it's uncanny, and I think you should reread it. It'll change your mind. Let me just get to one quick topic that we have teased. I know, maybe this will make you feel better. Right. College students are dumb.
I feel better already.
According is true fact. And I'm saying this to you because I know you're a Rhodes Scholar, not just a college student, but a Rhodes Scholar. A new study has found that college students totally unprepared to deal with ordinary life questions like What does that credit card statement mean? How do you balance your checkbook? How much gas do you have in your car before it goes empty? Things like that.
Yeah.
Most people shouldn't go to college. They should go to trade school. College is wasted on most students, in my view.
But the thing about this story, though, is that the college students don't know if they have enough gas to get to the gas station. They can't read a credit card statement, all these things.
Right.
But they're actually better than most American adults. College actually does help, and that's the terrifying thing, that we're still that bad at it even after going to college, but college students are better off than most Americans.
Well, I would imagine they would be, since they're spending 100% of their time learning. You'd think they would be in a much better shape. Here's my point.
Yeah.
Why don't we take 80% of college students who don't really want to be in college in the first place except to party, and send them on fully paid apprenticeships so they can learn something useful? I wish I had done that.
Yeah, but you know, I hesitate to take the lesson of this as being we need less higher education in this country. I kind of feel like we need kind of a more rigorous education system in this country. No wonder all our jobs are going to India.
With apprenticeships.
Yeah.
I learned